Hello, I'm Pierre Campbell, and thank you for watching the Pierre Camp channel. Today we have a very special guest with us. He has been a leader in the radio industry for over 20 years, and his leadership skills has given him the opportunity to excel in his field. But he's not only a leader, he's also the program director for Richmond's Radio 106.5 The Beat. And it's a pleasure to sit here and have a chat with you, Mr. Mike Street. What I wanted to talk to you about is your leadership style. If you could maybe talk to me a little bit about your leadership style, go ahead.
Okay, well, I guess I wouldn't call it a leadership style. I just do, I lead by example. I wouldn't ask anybody else to do anything that I wouldn't do personally. I make sure I'm familiar with everybody that that I'm responsible for, that's part of the team, so that I wouldn't ask them to do anything outside of their their comfort zone or outside of their their skill set, because that lead to failure. And at the same time, you need to know who's working with you, not necessarily for you, but with you, so that you know what type of person you're dealing with, as far as what motivates them, what shuts them down, and once you get to know them, that combined with having an idea of what needs to be accomplished, and organizing your group, helps you get things done a lot quicker and a lot easier, more efficiently and effectively.
Okay. Thank you. So when you talk about, if you could just elaborate a little bit more, how do you know who's working with you rather than for you? That was a very interesting way you put that. If you could just elaborate a little bit more on that concept.
Well, yeah, like when I say who's working for you, I don't try to think of, like, even though I'm management, I don't think of people who work with me as working for me, because we all work. Like, if I was the type who just came in, sat behind a desk and barked orders, then they work for me. But because I'm actually doing the work with them, they work with me. We're trying to accomplish the same goal, get the daily tasks done, make sure we're organized, make sure everything gets done before everyone goes home each day.
Got it. Right. Very good. Thank you. So the other thing I wanted to ask you is, a lot of people don't know that you spend countless hours at work. And let me tell you, this man works. It's not just Mr. 2 to 6. He is here. He is here late. Sometimes he's here early. It's amazing how long he works. And he's actually been one of the first on-air personalities hired to launch this station back in 2001. I know you've had a couple of challenges as a leader over the years as a program director. Can you tell me how you've handled your challenges?
Well, the major challenges you deal with if you're working with, successful and good people is turnover, especially in radio. The better you are, the higher the turnover, because people always want to move on to bigger and better situations, other markets, or they might determine that maybe I don't want to do radio, or maybe I want to get into PR, maybe I want to get into self-help, so you always are concerned about the high level of turnover, and you always have to make sure that you have the next piece already in place. Or you at least have the right group around you that can easily pick up where the person who's left, pick up their their end of the bargain until you can plug a new piece in.
Right. Yeah. Right. So I guess that would take a lot of training ability. So over the years, you've probably trained a few on-air personalities. Am I accurate to say that?
Well, yeah. The thing is, you try to make sure that the people you bring in initially are good at multitasking, are good at picking up on different tasks. Pretty much you're assimilating them into the process to make sure that they can make sure that the wheels keep turning, that they won't be the brakes, they'll be more like the accelerator.
Okay. All right. So let's take a step back to back when you first started. You must have had someone out there that really helped you to break into the field in radio. Could you talk a little bit about maybe a mentor or someone that helped you back in the day?
Let's see. Well, initially, I guess it was I forget his name, but he was running a campus radio station. He was the general manager at the time. And he just walked up and he was like, hey, you ever thought about doing radio? Out of the blue. Out of the blue. And I was like, well, I DJ a little bit. And he was like, would you like to do that on the radio? So I was like, okay, cool. From that point forward, that's all I've done, pretty much. And that was college. Then commercially, it was a guy named Aaron Maxwell. He asked me if I was interested in doing a similar sort of situation on a commercial station. Of course, I said yes. And that was, like you said, 2 decades ago almost. And it stuck, apparently.
It's amazing how far we come with the when you meet one person and all of a sudden you find yourself in a field, and now you're in the field for so long. Yeah. What do you think it is about this field that keeps you in this field? What is the passion that drives you to keep coming to work every day and working all these long hours?
Well, I think it's because it's just different. It's quirky. It's one of those fields where you never get it right. Certain things is like, you could be the best at whatever you do, but, like our success is based on not only sales. The sales are based on arbitron, on listeners. And you can have times where different people are asked their opinions about, what's your favorite station.
Right.
So, eventually somebody's going to say, well, the other station's my favorite station. And it's those situations that drive you to say, well, you know what, how come we're not your favorite? So you're motivated to try to make your station good enough for everyone. You concentrate on your core. But at the same time, you say, okay, now how come you don't like me? How come you're not part of the team? And what can I do to make you part of the team without losing, my core? So I guess the part of it that's the most intriguing is that it's not a static industry. It's fluid. Yes. And it's ever changing. It's not boring. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely can agree with you on the fact that it isn't boring. Let's talk about maybe some of the not only the challenges, but some of the fears you may have had when you first started in the industry, and maybe some of the fears that you have that maybe you can share with some folks that are interested in getting into the field in the radio industry. And let's talk about some of those fears and how you've overcome those fears.
Fears. Well, when I first started, I didn't have any fears. I guess you can call it being cocky. No, when I first started, I was at a college station. The ratings didn't count. So you just did what you do. The station I went to after that, it was pretty much the only game in town. So it was, the #1 station in the area. So it was no fears involved with that. You just do what you do. You're going to be the #1 station. Then when this opportunity came for this particular organization, then it was like, okay, how will, what I did there translate over here? It wasn't necessarily a fear. It was more like an anxiety. Okay. It was like, regardless of what people say, if you have the ultimate confidence in yourself, you realize that, pretty much, or you believe that you don't, you're not affected by what other people say. You can say, okay, cool, that's your opinion. You're welcome to your opinion. Right. It's like, but when you invest a lot of time and energy into something and you know it inside and out, you come to the realization that, you can only do what you do. You know your strengths, your weaknesses, and you know what motivates you. So your performance level is internalized. So, once you get to that stage of your development, then it's like, okay, from this point forward, the only thing that affects me externally are things that I allow to affect me externally. And I was never that type of person. Of course I care about other people's opinions to help make my product better. But at the same time, the same amount of people that, roll with what you have going on, there's going to be the same amount of people who don't like what you're doing. So you just have to know what it is that that you're trying to accomplish, come up with the script, stick to the script, and adjust it accordingly. along the process.
All right, that's very, very helpful. If you could just encourage this young man or young woman that may be out there that's interested in becoming the next Mike Street, the next 2 to 6, what words of encouragement would you give that young leader looking at you today and saying, man, I aspire to be this big like Mike Street?
Well, how about I would say that if you're going to spend a lot of time on something, especially a career, not a job, a career, to make sure that it's something that you have a passion for. If you don't have a passion for it, it's going to be even much more difficult to succeed in it. You're not going to get as much satisfaction from it unless it's something that you actually enjoy. Or if you have options, you pick the one you enjoy the most. Okay. The more you enjoy it, the more you have a passion for it, the more energy that you don't mind putting into it, the less of a struggle it is, the less internal resistance it is to succeed in whatever it is you're doing. So I would say come up with a list of things that you enjoy. Try to figure out how you can maximize that list as compared to what's required from different positions that you may be trying to achieve in life, or different career paths that you may be looking into, and it would make the path a lot more smoother, and a lot less resistance would be involved with whatever it is you're trying to accomplish.
Well, thank you very much. I think you've encouraged some folks out there, and they can watch this video over and over again. Tell us where we can find you.
Oh, gosh. Let me see. Social media is important. You can catch me on Mike Street Show on Twitter, Mike Street Show on Facebook. And you can always, at least until they stop signing the checks, you can catch me at 1065thebeat.com. Keyword Mike Street.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you very much, Mr. Mike Street. Thank you very much. As always, be thankful, be encouraged. And you can check out pierrecamp.com for updates. You can follow me at Pierre Camp. I'm Pierre Campbell.
Spell it for him, man.
At Pierre Camp. Pierrecamp. Thank you very, very much. That's from an expert giving me a little advice here. You can check out pierrecamp.com. God bless you. And remember, you are a leader.